Tonight on News 5 Live, Belize City teens get some straight talk from Kobe inmates. Budget debate continues in the House, and UDP chairman says Prince William is not the person to ask for reparations for slavery. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Digi, the premier name in voice and data, is also the country's leading provider of innovative services and solutions for small business and enterprise. At Digi Business, we offer solutions, tools, and applications to support your business needs. Reduce costs, improve efficiency, and excel in a changing world where no idea is too big and no task is too small. From technology advising to design implementation and management, our team of qualified solution sales and specialists can develop a reliable and robust infrastructure, allowing you to spend more time on what matters most, your business. Visit us online to explore how DigiBusiness innovative products and solutions can help your business reduce costs and improve efficiency.
Your life just got a lot less complicated with Belize Bank Contactless MasterCard Debit Card. Introducing our Standard Debit and MasterCard Platinum Debit Cards. Now you can make purchases anywhere MasterCard is accepted with one tap, pay and go. Your contactless card never has to leave your hands, especially in these times. And your card is embedded with multiple layers of security. Platinum card holders get to enjoy extra benefits like price protection, purchase protection, trip inconvenience, and luggage protection, just to name a few. Start enjoying a cashless lifestyle today with the Belize Bank.
Watch The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings of the First Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. exclusively on Channel 5 Belize. The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings every Sunday at 8 a.m. on Channel 5 Belize.
Download the SmartStream app on the Android Play Store and create your account to get access to movies and stream at home or on the go. Prepaid customers can purchase regular data packages or get a discounted rate on a special SmartStream package by dialing 7737. Postpaid customers will be billed monthly. Never miss a movie again with SmartStream.
Towering above us, they give us oxygen and food, tools and shelter, and create some of the most biodiverse habitats on Earth. As the biggest plants on the planet, trees are important for life. In fact, research shows that within minutes of being surrounded by trees, your blood pressure drops, your heart rate slows down, and your stress levels plummet. In Belize, we are blessed to have 60% of our national territory under forest cover and nearly half of our national territory safeguarded in the form of protected areas. Protected areas are safe havens that preserve our forests and jungles of Belize from mass destruction and extraction, or as it's known, deforestation. And as Belize's population increases, it's opening a gateway for unsustainable rural land use. Logging and farming also significantly contributes to deforestation. We need healthy forests, as they absorb carbon dioxide and other harmful gases from the atmosphere. So without them, the rate of climate change accelerates and greenhouse gases in the atmosphere increases. Without forests, soil would wash away, leaving behind a barren wasteland where no crops will grow, forcing farmers to move on and repeat this destructive cycle elsewhere. Like kidneys, trees control the flow and use of water by catching rain and slowly releasing it into rivers and streams or into groundwater below, which protects us from flooding. As the heart and lungs of the world, trees power and sustain ecosystems. They offer habitation both above and below the ground to numerous insects and bigger animals alike. By providing food and shelter, Belize's forests and jungles support life and rich biodiversity. Without trees, what will be left of our jewel? We must work together to combat the unsustainable use of land and illegal logging. We encourage you to preserve existing forest ecosystems and to support protected areas. A message from APAMO, the voice of Belize's protected areas.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Friday, March 25th. I am Sabrina Daly. 30 youth from some of the most gang-ridden communities in Belize City spent the day in prison. Like an episode out of the TV series Scared Straight, the kids were introduced to life on the inside. But the encounters they had were more inspiring than frightening, as inmates candidly shared their personal stories of living behind bars and the life choices that got them there. News 5's Paul Lopez reports.
We are in these prison walls, doing my paces, doing my time. I am spending my restless nights, visioning faces. Oh, they all crying, crying. Prison on a bed of roses. It makes me bad.
Today was the first day in prison for 30 Belize City youths. They all learned a life lesson on what life is like on the inside. When a group of inmates arrive at the Belize Central Prison, they are corralled inside this cage-like room. This is the first taste of prison these at-risk youths received.
These gates are open one by one. Upon being opened, they are subjected to a search. Each person that comes through the search area must be properly searched.
Inside the search room, inmates are required to remove all their clothing.
You will be required to remove each and every article of clothing you have on your person. You will have to get down to your bird suit.
They learned that certain colors, like the color red, are not allowed inside. They were also informed that the community an inmate comes from and the gangs they affiliate with also play a role in the screening process.
What the police doesn't find, the prison officer will find. Trust me.
15-year-old Roches was a part of today's tour. He lives in the St. Martin's community and aspires to be a music artist.
I learn a lot of new things. I learn something different. My different mentality. My mind have to change to the community, make the community shine, and even give me things to sing about.
But with the gang culture prevalent in his community, he says it is easy to become corrupted and end up in prison, or worse, dead.
And the main thing that with your friend, then your friend corrupt you, tell you, let's go so next minute, or you there at the CS spot or at a bearing ground.
Today's visitors learned that life inside prison is not for the faint of heart. While the lives of many inmates have been transformed inside the walls of the Colby Foundation, they have also been stripped of certain rights. Several inmates addressed today's visitors.
Every time I stop, I make a look back as I reflect on my life, my life. Every time I stop, I make a look back at the struggles in my life, my life.
It's tough when I'm young, I think growing up in the community where I'm there. Never wait for me because my family are jail. And only my mom is struggle for me and me a thing. But I still me up. I go to school and thing till I get expelled and thing. But no, I still finish my education. I think I'm in a third form right now. I can't online at school. I think that's the best thing for now.
First, I used to be bad too. I used to do a lot of trouble. I used to be hanging with friends where we always manipulate and do badness. I used to always involve in something bad. And the time I come for make I come to jail. Right now I stand up in a jail. All my friends they're in the road. They're out the society with their family, they pick me. I'm at jail. My mom can't come visit me because of some of the things there where they have to go through, when they have to search you.
Like me right now, they are because of friends. They follow friends and so when you call somebody, they don't want to help out me, help this. They have to look on my brother and sister because I'm not going to pass. You know, so right now my brother and sister they help me out right now in here. You know, till a day come for I go home, where I could look out for me back when I reach out there.
You could always be around bad friends, you could always have one neighborhood where they class as a bad neighborhood, but make your own decision, think for yourself, right? When you think for yourself and you make a mistake, you could always say, well, that me make a mistake, but when you got somebody think for you, you make that mistake, you say, boy, well, shall never follow this one or shall never follow that one there.
The police department handpicked these youths from some of the most notorious communities in Southside Belize City to have this experience. Howell Gillett, Regional Commander of Eastern Division, says it is important that these young people visualize the life behind bars.
They have seen a lot. Having spoken to some of them, they have seen a lot in the streets. So, but they haven't seen what occurs after you're arrested and charged. So we needed to bring them here. They have seen their share of violence. So I thought it necessary to show them the end product of those violence in the street.
My life, I've seen many things.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
Each inmate spoke for approximately 10 minutes during their address to youth that visited the Belize Central Prison. Other lessons they shared were about the restrictions placed on inmates inside prison, including the use of mobile devices. Inmates also encouraged the youth to use their talents and to listen to the elders in their lives.
Finish on school, get a nice job. I don't get no trouble. I think listen to the parents or listen to the elders. That was my advice to no, I think, man, because this place is not nice and I don't want to see none on the face. If I get convicted, I think, I don't want to see on the face. I think I also on weapon on the eye. Listen to our officer, I think. All we got a gift. God give away a gift.
Some people come to jail and it's not easy. It's not easy. People tell you when to get up. You get food for a certain time. They got limited access to everything. Right now, everybody must got a phone and got a TikTok account. You know, continue to, if you get involved in a crime and mischief out there, and you go to jail, you know, I got that. They have future politicians, future prime minister, future CEOs. You are the future leaders of this country. Nurses, doctors, lawyers, policemen.
Prison, yes, prison teach a lot of things, but like what the Benjamin explained, you like have your phone, but you can't have a phone here, no Facebook, no WhatsApp, no TikTok. And them know that TikTok, but then they're not there. Then they're not there. So if you like that, you try your best, your best for keep your fault and orange suit, right? That all I have to say. But my advice, don't right? I just continue to don't have an opportunity as students. If you could play football and have a gift basketball and try to follow that. You understand? As my age, like I had an opportunity for Ghana, I'm in the national team, all of those things, right? So have a better, more opportunity.
The work of the Ministry of Home Affairs in addressing the root causes of gang violence has seen the establishment of the Leadership Intervention Unit. It has also seen the creation of other programs that are aimed at getting at-risk youth off the streets and enrolled in academic and life skills training sessions. During his budget presentation, Home Affairs Minister Karim Musa announced that government has set aside almost $3 million to fund these initiatives.
For the first time in our history, and as has been acknowledged by the member for Albert, under the leadership of Mr. William Dawson, the team at the Leadership Intervention Unit, including concerned citizens, educators, pastors, businessmen and women, we now have $2.9 million dedicated solely to stemming the tide on the gang culture that has ravaged Belizean families and homes. Under this program, Madam Speaker, not only are we providing gainful employment for 300 at-risk youth in our apprenticeship program, but we have enrolled 250 at-risk youth in life skills programs, attending sessions 2 days out of the week, literacy classes, numeracy, emotional intelligence. Madam Speaker, there's also a training aspect in small engine repairs, plumbing, and electrical. I want to say big up to Dr. Lerna McKay and Ms. Vernadelle Bailey and others who are committed to bringing true reform, counseling, and personal development to our young men.
The second day of the budget debate got underway this morning, minus the fireworks that erupted in the National Assembly on Thursday. Albert Area Representative Tracy Tager-Panton was first to address the House of Representatives with a rather subdued delivery. During her presentation, the opposition parliamentarian positively acknowledged the Bersenio administration's effort in shepherding the country's economic recovery. However, she was also sure to point out the nepotism and cronyism she says is taking place under the present government. She says the administration seems determined to hire family and friends of elected officials.
I note, Madam Speaker, that the theme of the Prime Minister's budget involves two concepts, two principles which I hold dear: fairness and inclusion. As the constitutional opposition, it is therefore our responsibility to examine the facts and determine how accurate and sincere such a claim and characterization of the government's self-professed agenda is. The Belizean economy, according to the SIB, suffered a 6.7% contraction in 2020 and has seen some nascent growth of approximately 10% when compared to 2020. Nonetheless, it is not where it was in 2019. Before we even get into the substance of the budget itself, let me say that this kind of rhetoric from this administration is nothing new. Indeed, they were swept into power in 2020, riding the wave of another populist slogan: everybody fi win. Even before the euphoria of the massive victory could wear off, the reality quickly set in. Madam Speaker, citizens learned quickly that this was an administration that was hell-bent on practicing and institutionalizing nepotism and cronyism, as top positions in the government were defiantly and disdainfully awarded almost exclusively to close family members of elected PUP politicians and party hacks.
Panton's presentation was fairly tame, but Caribbean Shores Area Representative Karim Musa began by recognizing that Panton's line of reasoning essentially supported the Briceño administration's achievement over the past fiscal year. He did throw a few barbs at the leader of the opposition.
In many ways, Madam Speaker, while she did not say so, she was endorsing this government's performance for the last year and 4 months. She acknowledged the fairness in our government, that we are providing them with the Community Development Fund. She acknowledged that our Minister of Education does not play politics in terms of the development and progress of our children. She acknowledged, Madam Speaker, that they need a house under PUP. But Madam Speaker, compare that now to my good friend, the member for Mesopotamia's presentation yesterday. Madam Speaker, it is clear that he showed up yesterday completely unprepared to discuss this budget in any serious analytical way. Yes, I believe he was jet-lagged, Madam Speaker. He came here, Madam Speaker, and his entire focus, as is always the case, was in speaking of something that is all too familiar to him: crime and violence. Madam Speaker, he spoke about the member for Fort George being obsessed with him. Well, I don't know what you would call the way he was so unhealthily obsessed with me yesterday. It makes me wonder, Madam Speaker, whether he had a special friend named Kareem, the Clinton Correctional. But he would have to see a real doctor about that.
Opposition leader Shine Barrow was late in arriving at today's sitting of the House of Representatives. But when he did walk in, there was no shortage of banter across the aisle. He entered during the Orange Walk South area representatives' presentation and quickly called for a point of order on the grounds that Jose Abelardo May was painstakingly discussing the misdeeds of the previous administration instead of focusing on the financial proposal for the upcoming fiscal year. Here's how that brief exchange with the Speaker of the House unfolded.
I have a point of order. What's the point of order?
Madam Speaker, the point of order is that members have to...
Bill 20.
Madam Speaker.
Thank you.
All I am hearing
you
is about the former administration. I'm hearing nothing about the budget, Madam Speaker. I just want you to understand me, Madam Speaker.
No, I understand. You said the point of order is about debating.
Want to hear about the budget.
Please sit. Remember, you were late, but perhaps, and for that, I will. So you would have. Member, I'm talking. We spoke about this yesterday. I was about to say to you, please, member, I was about to say to you, you were late. So I will excuse you for perhaps, if you'd allow me to finish, it is not a criticism of you being late. It's me trying to explain to you that I made an announcement this morning, and perhaps you may have missed it because you were late. It's not a criticism of being late. And the point that I made, and I will repeat it, is that this parliament and previous parliaments, especially for budget debates, speakers have allowed that leeway of looking in the past, looking at previous budget or budgets, and then to tie it in with the current budget that is being debated. And I reminded all members, I reminded all members to just be aware, I'm speaking members, to just be aware that you must tie into the new budget. It is not about debating the past.
The National Evangelical Association of Belize, NEAB, staged a brief protest this afternoon outside the National Assembly. The organization has been staunch in its opposition to the legalization of cannabis. While it lacked the strength in numbers that would otherwise give its protest teeth, NIAB is fully supporting the position recently taken by the Catholic Church that a referendum is absolutely necessary in order to get the pulse of the people on the matter. NIAB, in an accompanying statement, says, quote, "The National Evangelical Association of Belize and its associate churches nationwide express our full endorsement to the statement released by the Catholic Church against turning Belize into a marijuana republic, with doors wide open to cartels in the drug trade," unquote. Earlier this week, in a televised statement, Father John Robinson spoke on the Cannabis and Industrial Hemp Control Licensing Act 2022, raising several concerns about that piece of legislation. Coming up, UDP chairman says Belize would need to meet with officials in Great Britain, not simply ask Prince William for slavery reparations. His take on this and preparations for the UDP convention when we return.
Hello, friends. This is Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "For if you forgive men when they sin against you, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive men their sins, your Father will not forgive your sins." A young, white, mentally disturbed man joined a group of African American Christians one night during their Bible study in Charleston, South Carolina, and an hour later shot and killed 9 of them. How did that church respond? They did not respond by going to the streets and demonstrating their bitterness and hatred. No, they, with the grace of God, said, "We forgive him." That did not mean that they excused him, but that they would not allow anger and hatred to control their lives. They chose love over hatred and the justice system to do its work. Corrie ten Boom likened forgiveness to letting go of a bell rope. If you have ever seen a country church with a bell in the steeple, you will remember that to get the bell ringing, you have to tug a while. Once it has begun to ring, you merely maintain the momentum. As long as you keep pulling, the bell keeps ringing. But if you let go of the rope, the bell will begin to slow down and eventually stop. Miss ten Boom said, "Forgiveness is letting go of the rope." It is just that simple. Old feelings of unforgiveness may continue, for they have lots of momentum, but soon that unforgiving spirit will begin to slow and eventually be still. Forgiveness is not something you feel. Forgiveness is something you do. It is letting go of the rope of retribution. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
The month of March is Women's History Month, and this is what the dynamic team at the Uno gas stations had to say.
1
Personally, I believe it's a month to highlight our strength and resilience.
A month that highlights the accomplishment of all the women around the world.
It means something very special to me because of all my hard work and dedication, and I feel very highlighted.
It's a month to honor all the hardworking and dedicated women around the world.
My mom.
My mom, of course.
My mother.
Happy Women's Month!
Happy Women's Month!
Happy Women's Month!
Happy Women's Month!
In less than 48 hours, the United Democratic Party is going to have a new leader. Since the beginning of February, the party has been without a substantive leader. The post was made vacant when Patrick Faber resigned following yet another domestic dispute. And so, on Sunday, 516 delegates will choose between Mesopotamia Area Rep. Shine Barrow and Albert Division's Tracy Panton.
Nothing earth-shattering, you know. I mean, we have a leader who had resigned, and so under the party's constitution, only 8 people were qualified to put their names up to be elected leader. Honorable Shine and Honorable Panton put their names up, and so Sunday was the date set for the convention, and Sunday the 516 delegates will go and choose the leader that they want to lead the United Democratic Party.
With quarantine regulations and safety protocols soon to be completely lifted as a result of the low positivity rate for COVID-19, will the election process be any different on Sunday? UDP Chairman Michael Parafit breaks down the format at Bird's Isle, saying that it will be similar to the recall convention last July.
If you remember the recall convention, this convention should not be any different from that. It should look the same, 3 tables, 516 people, fairly divided up into an even 3, you know, I mean, you divide it up into 3, about 200 voters per box. Each candidate will have their scrutineers there. You'll have the party officials there overseeing the process. People will come in, vote, and leave. The only time we want people to be standing still is when they're waiting in line to vote. But the minute you hit the bridge that leads to the island, you keep moving with a purpose. You line up to vote, you leave. That's what should happen. And it starts at 10, it finishes at 2 for regular delegates, and then if there are any alternates, they will vote between 2 and 3. So with that, we should have a fairly good idea of who is victorious by about 4 o'clock, 4:30, I am hoping.
Former UDP leader Patrick Faber resigned under unfavorable circumstances. Some would say that he was even forced to resign back in January, when the national executive voted against him. Since then, the embattled Collet area representative has been MIA from House meetings and the public stage. Leadership conventions often put a wedge between party members, and some political pundits are of the opinion that this will continue to hurt the UDP. However, Chairman Michael Parafit says that the party will bounce back following the election of the new leader. But what about Collet Division?
One particular person can hold the organization hostage, not myself, not Mr. Faber, not anybody. So when Mr. Faber resigned, we had to fill the gap. We have an interim leader, and we've been carrying on ever since. So naturally, having an interim leader can never be as good as having a leader in place. So that will happen Sunday, and Monday morning we start the rebuilding under the style and category of the new leader. I'm not going to say publicly how we're going to rebuild. We will rebuild the way we know how. In terms of, you said about Collet Division, well, that will be determined by the people of Collet. I have no indication from the Honorable Faber that he would not run again for Collet. And if he chooses to run again, well, then it is up to the people of Collet whether or not they want him to remain there or go in a different direction.
The Caribbean tour for the royal visit to commemorate the Queen's Platinum Jubilee saw Prince William and Catherine visit Belize, Jamaica, and the Bahamas. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge are currently in the Bahamas on the last leg of the tour. But in Jamaica, some residents staged protests, calling for not only an apology, but compensation from the UK for the impact that the slave trade had on their ancestors. Like Jamaica, Belize had been a colony of Great Britain. So should we too be beneficiaries of reparation? UDP Chairman Mike Perfeet commented on this and the royal visit.
We should benefit from everything that we should benefit from. So the experts would have to analyze what happened in the past, and if somehow Britain was responsible for any damage caused to us in a very technical and scientific way. We have to be able to measure amounts, we have to be able to measure different things. And if we can come up with a figure and we can come up with a position to say, yes, based on their actions, they're directly responsible for certain wrongs in the past, then indeed we should be entitled to reparations. However, you cannot expect to have a serious discussion with a royal visit. I mean, let's be full and frank. The royal family does not determine what happens to the British purse. So serious discussions cannot be had with a person who would be king. He's not even the next in line to be king. So what discussions would have been produced with speaking to a person who has to wait until his father dies before he becomes king? Serious discussions will only take place when government officials from Belize sit down with government officials from the UK, and only then can reparations talk really seriously start to take place. Because even if the prince has said, yes, man, I deserve reparations, he doesn't get to make that decision. So what difference would it have made to have a serious discussion with him about that? I think the discussions do need to be had. I think the situation needs to be analyzed. And if it is determined that we do deserve that and we have earned that, which I think we have and we do, then we need to get down to the nitty-gritty and start to talk some numbers as to how they would assist Belize for the wrongs that were perpetrated against Belize. But having a discussion with a member of the royal family on that issue, if you understand the structure of England, would be futile.
After the break, cattle exports looking up. Find out which countries are vying for our exports. But first, here's a look at the latest COVID-19 figures.
Is Women's Month, and at Brothers Tibet, we're celebrating our Belizean women and their achievements all month long. Women are too often overlooked in typically male-dominated fields, but we want to celebrate the capable ladies who are breaking the bias across the board. From the women at home tackling their own home improvements to our women builders behind new and exciting projects. We want to recognize your power and thank you for all your contributions to Belize. And as a small token of our appreciation, for the entire month of March, we're offering all women 15% off on all items in store so you can keep breaking glass ceilings with high quality products from Brothers Tibet. It's a great month to be a woman and a great time to come into Brothers Tibet and check us out for all your hardware needs. Happy Women's Month, Belize, and let's continue to break the bias.
This Easter, you can win big with BEL's customer rewards. To qualify, all your residential or social electricity accounts must have no arrears by March 31st, 2022 to get a chance to win one of 10 Easter packages. A winner will be chosen from each service area. Each Easter package includes a 13-feet portable pool with pump, a Coleman portable grill, an Igloo cooler, and a $200 grocery voucher. Remember, to qualify, all electricity accounts must be cleared and prizes will be awarded to the account holder. For more information, call 0800-BEL-CARE or follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Win big this Easter with BEL's Customer Rewards.
Necesitas un proveedor de servicio móvil que te permita estar conectado con una cobertura LTE rápida y confiable en cualquier instante y desde cualquier lugar. ¿Quieres hablar con tu familia? ¿Compartir tus experiencias con alguien especial? ¿Administrar tu pequeña empresa? Para todo lo que necesites te mereces la mejor experiencia móvil. Ahora puedes hacer mucho más con los planes de datos postpago aumentados de Digi. Puedes disfrutar de 8 GB de datos en cualquier instante por tan solo $55 mensuales. O puedes compartir hasta 120 GB con 6 de tus amigos más cercanos. Estos son más datos LTE para que disfrutes durante el día, por las noches y los fines de semana sin restricciones. Disfruta a lo máximo con más datos para llamadas y mensajes ilimitados en todos los planes postpago de Digi. Visita la tienda Digi más cercana para inscribirte hoy. Solo necesitas una identificación válida y un comprobante de domicilio. Únete a la red de mayor velocidad y cobertura en Belice. Para más información visita nuestra página web www.livedigi.com o envíanos un mensaje a través de WhatsApp o Facebook. Digi, nuestra telecomunicación nacional.
A Mexican meat company signed an MOU with the government of Belize to purchase local cattle on a weekly basis. On Tuesday, members of cabinet attended a cattle export ceremony in the shipyard community. On that day, the Mexican meat company imported 266 heads of cattle into Mexico. It is the third cattle shipment out of Belize this year. Between September of 2020 and December of 2021, both the informal and formal trade of cattle out of Belize has amounted to some $6 million. Tuesday's event was a sign of continued growth in the industry. Eamon Courtney, the Minister of Foreign Trade, said it is a good day for ranchers.
Today is yet another good day under the leadership of the Honorable John Briceño. Today is yet another good day for Belize. It is a good day for the livestock industry. It is a good day for farmers. It is a good day for which we celebrate the relationship between Belize and Mexico, Sucarne and the livestock farmers of our country. Today is a blessed day. I listened carefully to the national prayer, and one of the phrases for which we pray is the increase of industry. We are witnessing here in a historic way the increase of industry. And I think it is only right and proper that we pay our respects and to congratulate the leadership of Abimai for his visionary leadership, his steadfast leadership, and his commitment to the livestock industry, indeed the agro-productive industry. We are witnessing another example of the resurgence of the economy, and it demonstrates the administration of Prime Minister Briceño's determination to reach out to the government of Mexico on trade and specifically on cattle exports. Even as discussions are ongoing with Mexican authorities on an even more formal arrangement for trade between both countries, we have made cattle a priority.
Approximately 5,600 cattle ranchers are operating across the country. In fact, cattle farmers now outnumber sugarcane farmers. The majority are small farmers whose livelihood depends on the trade. But as these farmers begin to expand their stock, Abelardo Mai, the Minister of Agriculture, says climate change is real and expansion must be done in a sustainable manner.
The export of cattle is perfectly in line with Plan Belize and our agriculture policy from farm to the table. The government will do all it can to ensure that we improve and expand the cattle industry in a sustainable manner. We can no longer clear the land, leave it bare for cattle. We have to change our policy because climate change is real. 3 out of 5 years for the last 10 years, farmers have failed. The first year, it is a drought. The second year, they do well. The third, excess rain. The fourth, insects, and so on. So climate change is real, and while we want to expand, it has to be done in a sustainable manner. We must revisit our policy and make those changes if we want to improve the economy and the well-being of this country.
Prime Minister John Briceño says Guatemala and Mexico are competing for Belize's cattle. PM Briceño noted that the competition will provide the capital needed for expanding the industry in Belize.
I'm a cattle farmer, also a cattle rancher. So what is being done right here is also good for me and for my brother Jaime. I remember many years ago when I told Jaime, let's get into cattle ranching, and he said, well, we know about cattle. I said, well, we are going to learn. And for a number of years, Jaime is always saying, well, can't sell the cattle, can't sell the cattle. And then finally we're coming to the point where there seems to have worked out the kinks, and for us to have a good market, a market that you have two competing groups from Guatemala and from Mexico. And by setting up that kind of competition, it allows then for all Belizean cattle ranchers to be able to get a better price. Because that has always been the biggest problem, that cattle ranching requires a lot of capital, and it's a long-term investment. And if you do not have the cash flow, then most farmers cannot, or ranchers cannot afford it. What makes me so excited about what I'm seeing here today, about having Tucarne work an agreement with our farmers that they want to export on a regular, on a weekly basis, it's that I'm seeing Plant Belize in action. That in Plant Belize there's a lot of ideas that we put together, that we believe if we could get all of these pieces in place, if we could get them as one big picture, that we can really address the fundamental problems that we are facing in this country.
Ahead, exciting new opportunities for visitors to Turnip Atoll. But first, here's a weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
My name is Natalie and I'm a working mom with 2 small children. Before I got pregnant, there were never any issues about my performance at work. However, when I did get pregnant, the way I was treated made me feel that I wasn't welcome anymore in the workplace. And so I decided to resign for my health and for the health of my baby. By the time my husband and I decided to have a second child, I was working at a company that had policies that accommodate women who are pregnant and nursing mothers. For example, we would get time off to nurse our children. I feel lucky to be working for a company that does not discriminate against pregnant women or nursing mothers. I believe that all women in Belize deserve that right. And at the end of the day, we're all Belizeans and we should all be treated with respect.
Who said money can't grow on trees? Our trees don't just store carbon and provide us with oxygen, but are valuable, renewable resources that secure our social, economic, and environmental well-being. But we have lost more than 40% of our forests already, and we are at risk of losing more than 60% of our forests by the year 2050. The Forest Department promotes sustainable or smart harvesting of timber, ensuring that each year only a limited number of mature trees are harvested with the least impact of our forests. Today, 4 local communities and 10 corporations are actively engaged in sustainable timber harvesting, responsibly ensuring that our forests can naturally regrow for our future. Care for our forests by being smart consumers and buying timber only from legal sources. Learn more by contacting the Forest Department at 822-1524 or find us on Facebook. A message from the Forest Department through the Key Biodiversity Areas Project.
Download the SmartStream app on the Android Play Store and create your account to get access to movies and stream at home or on the go. Prepaid customers can purchase regular data packages or get a discounted rate on a special SmartStream package by dialing 7737. Postpaid customers will be billed monthly. Never miss a movie again with SmartStream.
Applying for a Social Security sickness benefit? Here's what you need to know. A complete claims package include 1. Sickness claim form fully completed by the claimant and medical doctor. 2. Salaries record form completed by the employer or HR representative. 3. Proof of bank account such as bank book, online banking, or statement displaying your name and account number. To submit via email, you need to take a clear photo or scan of the documents and email to claims@socialsecurity.org.bz. Be sure to include your full name, social security number, and benefit type in the subject line of the email. Or you can drop off all completed forms into the Dropbox slot at the nearest branch office. Deadline to submit is 14 days from your first day of illness. All forms are available on the website at www.socialsecurity.org.bz. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
The Turniff Atoll Sustainable Association, TASA, today showed off new options for tourists under the brand Blue Rise. TASA says the lessons learned by the onset of COVID-19 have brought about new ideas of building Belize's resilience, and the carefully designed plan broadens the scope for tourists to choose from when visiting Belize. News 5's Marian Ali was at Turniff and has this report.
Behind me is the Calabash Nature Trail. It is one of Turniff Atoll's 5 new services to advance their tourism product and falls as a part of a larger sustainable tourism development plan.
So what Blue Rise is really the financial sustainable model for Turniff, and it is a new brand that Turniff is now looking at important key areas here within the Marine Reserve that we can now offer to our tourism stakeholders and to visitors who want to come here, and to market it in a way that people appreciate coming to visit Turniff, but also paying to visit these packages.
The packages complement the Ministry of the Blue Economy, whose mission is also to support innovative means of generating revenues through environmentally friendly projects, as CEO in that ministry, Kennedy Carrillo, outlined.
The goal is that we will be able to show the tangible effects of the important work of our ministry and our partners in the pioneering and building of our Belize blue economy. Central to the realization of this mission are the functional and productive blue resources and their associated ecosystems. Belize's marine protected areas are important tools in ensuring that our conservation targets are met, ensuring that we have resources which support our blue economic development and climate change resilience.
The 5 new options include the recently sunken with concrete ship, the Calabash Nature Trail, the Calabash Underwater Trail, a mooring network, and the Blue Rise online portal that eliminates the use of paper. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marian Ali.
Belizeans are invited to spend an hour online this Saturday learning about coastal and marine environments. The event, called Earth Hour, begins at 8:30 p.m., coordinated by the World Wildlife Fund. The event website features materials for the whole family, including educational materials on climate change and how to adapt to its impacts. Participants select one area to learn about during Earth Hour and are then invited to write a pledge describing how they can commit to conserve these ecosystems. After the hour finishes, WWF will select the best and most feasible and creative ways in which these pledges are written, and will award the best ones with different WWF promotional products and other prizes. To participate, log on earthhourbelize.com. Earth Hour is celebrated on the last Saturday of March each year and traditionally consists of turning off the lights for an hour to consider how humans affect the planet and take long-term actions to reduce this footprint. The Bar Association of Belize has held its annual general meeting and elected a new executive body. They are Andrew Marshallek, CS.SC that is, as president, and Hector Guerra as the vice president, while Aaron Tillett is the treasurer and Jose Alpuche is the secretary. Committee members are Pale Ganwani, Ileana Swift, and Stevani Duncan Ferreira. A release from the association says the new executive would like to affirm its commitment to work for the benefit of the members and the betterment of the wider society. Up next, on the bright side, blending traditional artisan crafts with high fashion. Stay with us.
Actually hear from God. Are there really angels and demons? Okay, now that's just unbelievable. In our next series, we're going beyond the Google search and facing the tough questions. It's time to take on the skeptic and eliminate the doubt. From inconceivable to unimaginable, we're talking about the Bible's most unbelievable truths. Every second of this series will be worth your while. Believe it or not.
Download the SmartStream app on the Android Play Store and create your account to get access to movies and stream at home or on the go. Prepaid customers can purchase regular data packages or get a discounted rate on a special SmartStream package by dialing 7737. Postpaid customers will be billed monthly. Never miss a movie again with SmartStream.
Neymar and Messi standing over this. Messi. Great entertainment stays with you, and we bring you great entertainment. Next Gen, the ultimate digital experience.
What is the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine? The Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine is an RNA vaccine that triggers our immune system to develop antibodies against the SARS-CoV-2 virus that causes COVID-19. It helps to reduce hospitalization, severity of the disease, and death. What is the Pfizer vaccine made of, and is it safe? The Pfizer vaccine is made up of mRNA messenger ribonucleic acid, which are molecules that carry the genetic information needed to make proteins, lipid, salts, and sugar. It is safe for persons 12 years and older and does not contain the COVID-19 virus, hence cannot cause infection. Tests have shown that the vaccine is effective against current virus variants. Who should take the Pfizer vaccine? The Pfizer vaccine should be taken by persons 12 years of age and older who do not have severe allergic reaction after a previous dose of vaccine or have not had severe allergic reaction to any ingredient of this vaccine. 2 doses of the vaccine are required 3 weeks apart. If you are between the ages of 12 and 17 years, you are required to present a signed consent form before you are vaccinated. What are the side effects of the Pfizer vaccine? Some common side effects of the Pfizer vaccine are headache, fatigue, muscle pain, fever, chills, and swelling at the injection site. If side effects persist, contact your doctor as soon as possible. Does the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine prevent infection and transmission? No, vaccination alone does not prevent infection and transmission. We are still required to continue to wear masks properly, physically distance, wash and sanitize hands often, practice proper coughing and sneezing hygiene, and avoid crowds.
Two very different forces have teamed up for Women's Month to produce a project called Girls Gone Crafty. The workshop is being conducted by artist Raquel Rodriguez for women in Belmopan who want to use their creativity for income generation. The sessions are sponsored by the Ministry of Human Development. Rodriguez and a couple of the participants shared their thoughts with News 5 on how the workshop is going and what they are learning so far.
We have 50 participants who came along the journey with me in the process of becoming artisans and market vendors. During this process of 4 days out here in the workshop, they were learning how to do handicrafts, being, for example, working with different artisans and doing things like jewelry making and painting, mini paintings on textile, on wood. We also did keychains. We're also bringing out the girls to meet different people who do sewing and different things to learn about the different ways that we could sell to the tourists. So we can do, for example, wine bags or handbags or different little market bags, mini totes that we can paint on along with aprons, and we can paint on to showcase what we're doing in Belize. So this is a handmade product that I'm trying to teach the girls, and so they can carry forward in the future and become entrepreneurs of their own.
The product we learned to make earrings. So I have a hoop. I did a sunset and one for Women's Month, Afro girl supporting like her love of her fro. And we also did coasters. I did this beautiful sunset with a rainbow river.
Yeah, well, I learned how to paint on materials. This is a beautiful apron. And also today we learned how to make keychains, which is really great. I already have an art shop, I would say. I make my own bracelets, I will make my own jewelry. So my experience here is just to even be bigger.
CEO at the Ministry of Human Development, Tanya Santos, says that the ministry promotes this kind of initiative to empower more women to become self-reliant.
By
empowering our women economically, we are also preparing them to be able to survive in their communities and in their homes. We have initiatives like this throughout the country. We're just highlighting this one this time because it's live and active and being very impactful. But we do these kinds of programs countrywide. If there are women and women's groups who are interested, reach out to the ministry, reach out to the department in your communities. We are in each municipality, and we'll be glad to lend support where we can.
During the royal visit this past weekend, all eyes were on the Duchess of Cambridge. Fashionistas around the world took note of what Kate was wearing when she came off the plane, danced the punta, or graced the official reception. But Belize's own best-dressed men and women were also on display, some modeling uniquely Belizean creations. On this week's Bright Side, I visited one fashion house out west that is working with Mayan embroidery artists and dressing everyone from blushing brides to visiting prime ministers. As Ranelli Requena puts it, fusing fashion is a win for Belize.
I briefly walked in your working space and I saw you working on a wedding dress, and I was telling one of your staff members, it's almost like you're the fairy godmother.
I have a cool job, what can I say? The brides come in with all these dreams and ideas about what they want to look like for their special day, and I have to take all of that idea and put my aesthetic in it because it has to be a representation of me as well, until we come up with this one sketch and the one dress for that big day.
Ranelli Requena does custom event wear and will soon launch ZS Bespoke for Men. She collaborates with the Sarsoon Tamash Institute for Indigenous Management. That is how her passion project, Sha'il, came about.
Madam Fruela gave me a call and I'm like, oh my God, it's Fruela. Before the time she was not Governor General, but I've heard of her work and we're talking about, and we had similar visions of what we wanted fashion in Belize to be like. Usually when we hear about fashion, you think about the glamour, about the runway, about going to other countries with your collection, but we really wanted fashion to be something as a movement where we're educating people about our culture, our fashion, our traditional clothing, our story to tell, because we do have a culture in Belize. And we did several consultations with the ladies, which has been an amazing experience. Every time I go there, I never get bored, where we talk to the elders and we talk to the younger generation of what they wanted, and we came up with this capsule collection, which we integrated their traditional clothing with the embroidery with a little modern twist.
Ranelli says this project has empowered and employed several women through a twist on modern-day fashion and the integration of culture.
Through the project, we've been able to create jobs for women where they can be working from home. They no longer have that need to be taking their little crafts and going out on the streets and begging stores to take in their souvenirs or their embroidery. No, they get to work from home, and we even go and get it from them, from their homes. They go to the village to purchase it from them. Also, we're teaching them new skills. Believe it or not, most of the women that are sewing now did not even know how to sew. Some of them hadn't even touched an electric machine. Some of them haven't even hold an electric iron. So it's from scratch. We started with the ladies, and moving on to now, it's a skill that they can pass on to their daughters or their sons. So we're actually shaping the community in terms of skills, in terms of you can make money from your own hands without having to do things you don't want to do, but things you enjoy.
Recently, she enjoyed creating an embroidery gift for a visiting Caribbean dignitary.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs contacted me to make a piece for Miss Mia Motley. I was so excited.
I do embroidery on the side, and it's not something that I do often. So if you see an embroidered piece made by me, know that it's something special, because I really take my time to think about it, to sketch it from just an idea, and I sketch it out, and we do it by hand. When we did hers, we wanted to make something Belizean. What do you think about when you think about Belize? And we're like, the flora, our jungle. So we incorporated different flowers and leaves that would be more tropical for her to put on her scarf. And actually seeing her wearing it was very rewarding. It reminds me of why I do what I do, because for these little moments, and it's not just a win for me, but it's a win for Belize. We have a lot to offer.
And while Women's Month is an opportunity to highlight women breaking the bias, defying the odds, and fulfilling their dreams regardless of gender stereotypes, Ronelli says she's doing it all, one dress at a time.
And I feel with my brand, Zeva Sarai, we empower women by the dresses that we make. They come with a dream and we make it for them a reality. And I feel like that is empowering, making a woman feel beautiful.
Looking on the bright side, I'm Sabrina Daly. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.